Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun scroll saw project video, have an amazing medieval theme design by Steve Good. It's one of his newest pattern offerings from the year 2023. I've already got all the pattern printed out and attached to our material with clear packing tape, and it's going to be another multi-part project. So I've got a picture of the finished project saved on my cell phone behind me, so when we get to the assembly process I know how to assemble it properly. And the design is questioned is a nice medieval dragon. Now you guys know I love history. I love British history, I love old world history, you know, especially mythology and folklore and studying that. One of my favorite shows to binge watch during the winter season when I take my yearly break is Time Team, and that is a British style documentary series where they dig and do archaeology. It's hosted by Tony Robinson, and I really wish it would come back. But again, it's going to be a medieval dragon. Back when I was a teenager, my mom painted a ton of ceramics and that were dragons, you know, for me to display around my room, and that was how my room was decorated back then, way before the pirate ever was even a thought in my head, you know. And I've still got those, and I treasure them greatly. So this will be another dragon to add to that collection and add some nostalgia to it. Again, it's going to be a multi-part project, and all the material for this project came out of the scrap bin with the exception of the dragon's wings. And here is the main body of the dragon. It's going to be 3/4 inch in thickness, and you see there are some scales on the tail that we will cut out with internal cuts. And this is 3/4 inch cabinet grade plywood. And keep in mind there's going to be several different species of wood in this project, but we are going to stain them at the end to hopefully get one uniform color. My main job here is to document how the dragon is made for you guys, so you want to attempt it, you will have a video to go by as well as Steve's pattern. Here is the two sides of the dragon, and it has several scales in it, and this is 1/2 inch material, and I don't know what kind of wood species this is. This was under the work table. This was my grandfather's, if anybody would know what grain that is, but it's a very light wood, and I hope it scrolls exceptionally well. And then we have the dragon's front and rear legs, and these are going to be cut out of Baltic birch plywood, 1/2 inch. Again, this was my grandfather's. And then the only piece of my actual material that I had to use that I buy frequently is 1/4 inch material for the dragon's wings, and of course we will stack cut. These will be the only pieces that are going to be able to be stack cut on this project due to the thickness of the wood. But I'm really excited to get those memories back of me liking dragons and mythology and folklore. So without further ado, let's drill all the pilot holes required for this project so we can come back to the scroll saw and start scrolling. And over here on the drill press, we're going to take a small drill bit and drill all of the pilot holes for internal cutting. And there is a multitude of internal cuts on this project, but once we get over to the scroll saw we will put on some good music and get all of the cutting done. And over here at the scroll saw I am using a number 5 ultra reverse tooth blade for all of the cutting for all the material, and it's going to be various thicknesses of material, but we will cut everything out with this same blade. Beginning here with the dragon wings and now going into the main body of the dragon, and you can see, as I said, I'm using that same blade, and it will cut through all the material, the 1/4 inch, the 1/2 inch, and the 3/4 inch material exceptionally well with minimal chip out. If you guys would like to try this pattern, it's available as a free pattern download over at Steve Good's scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com website over in his free pattern catalog. But I will just go through here and get all of the internal cuts done, and just taking my time and letting the blade do the work. And now the piece I'm cutting out here, the 1/2 inch material, which we will cut out 2 of, is 1/2 inch thick, and in theory I could have stack cut these 2 pieces to make sure they were actually identical, but I was concerned about blade drift within the material with 2 1/2 inch pieces making it 1 inch thick, so I just cut out each piece individually, if that makes any sense. And again, I just zoned out here and had on some good music, and as I was cutting this out I was reminded from my childhood of just the previous fascination with dragons and mythology and folklore. And as much as I do the pirate stuff, I have never been to a Renaissance fair. I've been invited to one, but hopefully I'll get to go to one and enjoy the medieval music and the styles and the fashions and just the culture. I always love a good history documentary or medieval documentary about kings and queens of old. And this project, I think, just encapsulates all that. We are now doing all of the outside cuts to release all the pieces from the material. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. And again, I'm still using that same blade. I think I went through 2 blades cutting out this whole project. When I felt the blade getting dull, I just immediately took it out and installed a new one. And it took me around 1.5 hours to cut out everything. And again, this project is made from entirely scrap wood. Some of this material had been laying around the workshop for years, and I just wanted to document how he was made. And you of course have the option of cutting him out of the same uniform material if you have it on hand, and cutting out the final pieces here. 2 of the dragon's legs, which are 1/2-inch Baltic birch plywood. And once all of the scrolling is done, we will head over to the workbench and remove all the pieces from the waste wood. And we can start to get a visual and a glimpse of what the project will look like. But now it will be time to go to sanding, and I will use 180 grit Klingspor sandpaper in the palm sander here, and I will sand the front and back of all the pieces. And then it will be time for assembly. And as you see, I will have a picture of the finished project saved on my phone, and I will assemble everything with medium grade CA glue and activator, and also some spring clamps for added security to make sure everything locks in place. And I'll let this dry around 5 minutes before proceeding to the next part of the glue up. And I'll get a scrap piece of plywood here to help line up and make sure the legs are level. I just wanted a completely flat surface to work on. Again, going by that picture I have saved on my phone. And then we will now glue the wings on. And these are the 1/4 inch material, so these are the thinnest pieces. But then I will let this dry around 5 more minutes off camera, and then we will give it a uniform coat of stain with Minwax wood stain. And I'll saturate everything before wiping off the excess with a scrap piece of t-shirt material. And I like how the wings came out a little bit lighter. That's typical of most dragon portraits and drawings and paintings you see. The wings are always a lighter shade. But once he is stained, I will hang him on a hook to dry in the breeze for around an hour. And then it will be time to apply a finish, and I will give it several coats of Rust-Oleum clear gloss. And once that dried, the project was complete.
And here we have the completed medieval style dragon cut out completely on the scroll saw, and he finished up amazingly well. Thank you, Steve Good, for another fantastic pattern from your scroll saw pattern catalog. Really, really neat and unique. Once again, proving the scroll saw's versatility as an amazing woodworking tool that can make several different types of art, like this 3D piece that we cut out here. It took me around 1 hour and 15 minutes to scroll him out. He's not a very complicated pattern. It's just with the thickness of all the materials needed except for the wings that you just need to take your time and let the blade do the work, as well as be as loyal as you can to the cut line to make sure everything lines up once you get to the assembly process. And again, this is made entirely from scrap wood except the 2 wings here, which is the standard 1/4 inch material that I pick up and document most of the YouTube videos here on the channel. I hope you guys have liked this, and I finished it with just Minwax wood stain and Rust-Oleum clear gloss as is my standard finish here. Again, I feel it's my job to document how projects like this are made, especially a tabbed or multi-piece project like this. You know, we've done some tab projects this year because I am better myself as a visual learner, and I know some other people are better as visual learners as well, like myself. But he finished up great, and I did hope when I stained him that he would be one nice uniform color, but with it being the nature of several different types of wood, he came out different. But I still think he looks unique and rustic to fit in with that medieval era that we're trying to capture here. And again, it just throws it back nostalgically for me of days when I was learning about mythology, folklore, and the zodiacs, and, you know, reading about dragons, hoping that they were actually real at one point in the world's timeline. And as I said at the beginning, my mom painted me several ceramic dragons, and here's one of my favorite pieces she ever did. I went in and cleaned this off and brought it out here, and this is the Grand Dragon. You see he has the sword there, and he is kinda in the same pose as this dragon here that we've done today. This is one of my most treasured pieces, and she painted this entirely by hand. And I really hope you guys will go check out her ceramic page on Instagram at Turtle Dove Ceramics and give her a follow. She does amazing work with ceramics and all of the hand painting that I would probably never be able to match that skill of. My woodworking world is where I am happy in, and I hope you guys have liked this video. I know I had a ton of fun. I just put on some good music and let the blade do the work, and I think there's a lot of finishing options for this project. You could of course make 2 of these and put these maybe on 2 posts for like the entrance to a nice Renaissance fair, like through a gate or something. He could maybe be put on a staff or something. It might be a little bit too big for that, but that's always an option. And of course you could paint him. What I would like to see someone do with a project like this is maybe put him in the center of a wreath with maybe some orange and red flowers to maybe simulate fire breathing for the dragon, and put him as a centerpiece for maybe a feast or banquet that's made in the medieval and Renaissance style. But really, really cool. I had a lot of fun making this project, and I hope you guys like watching me make it. If you're new here, I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel and also follow me across all of my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to all my social medias as well as ways to contact me will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.